As in every tough job, somebody's got to do it.
Previously on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Spanning the World Wide Web, it's time for the Ninja Troll Radio Show news with the lovely Laura, a.k.a. Dragon Mama.
And that would be me.
Or is it me?
No, it's me.
Okay.
It's definitely me.
Okay.
So, I have three different news stories. Two are kind of sort of slightly related, so I'm going to start with one that's not related to either of the other two. A what?
Is there anything about a Wizinator?
No.
Uranus?
No.
Oh, God.
But you will like the first story.
Okay.
There's a Japanese inventor, because there are so many of those, who...
Okay.
Gracious.
The Decline of Western Civilization. The only podcast with a kick. The Ninja Troll Digicast.
The following program is being brought to you by Winchester Productions on Spreaker.com.
Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Radio Show.
And it is officially Thursday. And we are coming to you live right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast. Thank you for joining us for this all-new stirring rendition. All right. So before we can do that, I need to stop this. I'm kind of out of sorts. I'm going to go ahead and just throw it out there. Got a new computer. Had to take the other screen out, so things are popping up. Things are going in, going out. You know, when you click on one thing, Zara goes out. And Zara is a program that we use here. So therefore, I'm kind of lost tonight. Hold on a second. This is just an average show. Who am I trying to get?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Before we go on, I have a proclamation that I want to make right here. Thank you, Mr. Dixon.
No problem.
I want to say to all the broadcasters out there, you have a radio show, Mr. Howard Stern, I'm calling you out. I'm saying that you are good at what you do, but we are the kings of the Digicast. Thank you very much.
Since it's a word we made up.
So anybody else on Spreaker.com, follow our lead. That's all, that's all I'm saying. Susan Powder, you do a great job over there with what you do. Yeah, that's right. She's got a show on Spreaker.com.
I thought she was dead.
No.
Stop the madness.
Stop the insanity.
Oh,
Stop
insanity.
the insanity. Yes. All right.
Whatever it is, just stop it.
Yes. All right, so let's do this first and foremost. I have to acknowledge somebody that we saw last night. To you, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill. You have brought back a role that was done in the 90s. Wasn't The Flash on in the 90s?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
Early 90s.
So he recreated a role, and we're going to get more into this. But listen, everybody is calling him the trickster now. I want to say to you, you will always be known as Luke Joker Walker.
Stir.
Sky Joker.
Or Luke Sky Joker.
Yeah.
Joker Luke
Just
Walker.
Just throw stir on the end of it. And it'll combine them all.
Walker Stir. Walker Stir.
Yeah. See?
Wow. That's good stuff. All right. So we've been gone for a while. And going around the room here, I'm looking to the right, and I'm seeing the one, the only, the love of my life. The woman who is absolutely beautiful in her glasses, with or without glasses. The lovely Laura, a.k.a. Dragon Mama.
Hello.
And going to the kitchen area of the Cathedral of Wisdom, he is the man who says, no woman's in my kitchen. This is the one, the only.
That's right now. There isn't.
Is Mo Jonas, Timmy D.
I can't even come up with a snappy line. We've been gone too long.
There it is.
We're all discombobulated.
There it is.
I know. Cattywampus.
Yeah, cattywampus. That's a very, very good word. That's a very good word. So, with that being said, let's get on with it. I'm not going to talk about the Green Arrow comic that I read where I saw Slade and the Green Arrow together and they kind of look alike. I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay.
But I will say, hey, Timmy D, what we got going on tonight?
I have no idea.
We have news.
Well,
Yes,
we do have the news. We'll take a look at our movie and TV news where we're going to talk about the Flash episode that Chuck was just alluding to there with Mark Hamill. We're also, in the comic book news, there may be a very iconic character. And of course, because it's comics, you have to say maybe, but apparently a very iconic character has kicked the bucket. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll do something else. I don't know what it is, but we'll do something.
I know what we're going to do.
What else we're going to do?
We're going to take advantage at this point, and we are going to let Laura do a review, a movie review.
Cool.
Laura got the latest Dragon Ball Z DVD.
The first movie came out in 17 years.
17 years. 17 years. Did I say 17?
I think so.
And listen, I got to be honest. To the people over at the Japanese Nerd Squad, Otaku Weekly, I was talking to them about it, and I confessed. They asked, well, what'd you think about it? Well, I went to sleep.
But that happens to you all the time.
Well, it does. My narcolepsy really, really kicks in. Once I lay down, I'm pretty well much done. I'm really, really done. And the whole reason is it takes a whole lot of momentum to get this moved into position. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
The real reason is because you're really old.
And really fat. Really fat. And if I can have another fanfare from you, Mr. Dixon, we are 8 days away from Daredevil on Netflix.
Shouldn't that be in TV movie?
It should be, but I'm yelling it from the rooftops.
You just can't wait.
No. I mean, look, I about peed myself when I saw the dang promo. So now why wouldn't I get excited when it's 8 days away?
Because it's still 8 days away.
That's a week and 1 day for anybody who's counting.
Which means it's still over a week away.
But it's closer than it was.
Which means it comes out
5 minutes from now, it'll be closer than it was.
And I'll probably announce it then, too.
It'll come out next Friday.
Next Friday.
So we'll have to at least pause it for a little bit to do the show.
Well,
Chuck, you'll have to pause it long enough to do the show.
Look here. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I am schoolgirl giddy about this.
I'm aware.
I'm picking up on that.
And for those of you who have been keeping score right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast, you will know that it is hard for me to get excited about Marvel. And I'm excited. I mean, yeah. I am excited. I am so excited. I'm like somebody on Wall Street who finds out that the Dow is up. Way up. Way up. That's all I'm saying. So, with that being said, I think we got to bring the boy in here to get this thing started. Come on, Gabba.
Hi, Ninja Trolls. This is Gavin Ray. It's time now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Spanning the World Wide Web, it's time for the Ninja Troll Radio Show News with the lovely Laura, a.k.a. Dragon Mama.
And the only thing that gets me more excited,
and that would be me,
about Daredevil coming out,
mm-hmm.
is you doing the news.
Oh,
see that? See that? Now, give me a Wizinator story.
See, he's just trying to score points now.
I am.
We actually have 3 news stories tonight. You two will be happy with the third. But we cannot skip ahead, so we have to start with our animal news.
Ooh.
Not quite the right sound. But the first story I have does come out of Florida.
Yes.
Because so many strange and crazy things come out of Florida.
Let's face it, there's animals in Florida.
Well, there's animals pretty much everywhere. So,
but not like Florida animals.
So there is a golf course in Florida that is called the Myakka Pines Golf Club in Inglewood, Florida. And earlier this month, they spotted a 12 to 13 foot alligator that they named Goliath.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So they got him off the golf course because people were freaking out, and apparently...
Now that's a hazard.
Well, it is. But, you know, it had been...
I'm going to take a drop on that one.
Yeah. Well, he had been spotted on the white course number 7 hole. Now, why they have a white course, I don't know. I'm not going there. But...
I don't think it means only white people can play it.
We will hope.
I think that's just the name of it.
Aha! I got your ass.
So they had him removed. And then today...
Because he wasn't white.
There you go. But see, then today, he reappeared. And this time, he brought lunch with him.
He's
boy.
pissed off.
He was spotted next to the pond/lake that is there on the golf course. Mm-hmm. And he's basking on the banks with a turtle clamped in his mouth.
Was it teenaged?
I don't know, but it is rather large. It's bigger than his head. So
apparently, it could be a mutant.
It could. Absolutely. Yes, Chuck.
See where I'm
I can
going?
hear you raising your hand.
So once he's in this death roll and he's got this turtle in his mouth, could we call him Shredder?
God help me. They have decided not to remove him at this point because now people, of course, are coming to see the alligator. So it's bringing more business. How exactly they're going to keep him from eating guests, I'm not 100% sure.
Feed him turtles.
Apparently, yeah.
Because I like turtles.
I like turtles.
So they posted pictures of him eating the turtle on their Facebook page, which of course
I like turtles.
got them all kinds of comments, which of course there is no bad press, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, people are saying save the turtle.
I like turtles.
There are people saying, you know, this is a hazard. You should not allow it to stay. Just all kinds of fun stuff. But at this point, he now has new residents because apparently since they decided to remove him once and he came back, I don't think they're entirely sure how to make him go away permanently without turning
yeah,
into
that's a good point.
or something.
You know, if he wants to come back, a 13-foot alligator, he's going to do what he wants.
Pretty much.
I think that this could be one of the greatest stories of all time. Because if you get Billy the Exterminator...
Oh, my God.
...to go in there, it will be the retelling of Billy and Goliath. Almost biblical. I'm just saying.
I don't remember the biblical story of Billy and Goliath.
Well, some of the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
So from 13-foot alligators to 8-foot bull stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, human males will go and buy uber big trucks
Mass hysteria.
to overcompensate. Right?
Well, yeah.
You like big muscles?
Not what I'm talking about. But there is a man who owns a bar and grill in Hurricane, Utah. Yes.
That's the name of the town?
Yes, the name of the town is Hurricane.
Because so many hurricanes come through Utah.
Oh, yeah. It's an epidemic.
So, the owner of the bar and grill is Stephen Ward. Mm-hmm. And he submitted to the city plans for a giant bull statue that was going to be mounted above the sign for his establishment.
Yes.
He provided pictures, the cost, the weight, how it was going to be put together, the whole 9 yards, and didn't hear anything. So he finally emailed them back and said, when am I going to get my permit? Because, of course, he had to have a permit from the city to mount this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent him his approval. So he went and he spent $90,000 to have this brass bull constructed. And if you look at the bull, it kind of looks like a patchwork. But it's completely made of brass. But it looks like it has little patches that have been sewn together to create the entire bull. Now, as a part of this, he has an 8-foot thing protruding from his underside and 6-foot cojones.
What your people call an 8-foot thing, my people call penis.
Yes. That.
Saying.
It's trying to be tactful. So, the people...
If you would have said slong, that would have been untactful. Oh.
So, the people of Hurricane have started to complain, well, did start to complain pretty much immediately. Because they have to drive past this thing every day. And not only is it there, but it has brass hairs sticking off the end of it that are nice and curly and just bad. So, there have been issues with the anatomically correct bull, with the overemphasized certain areas.
With the petrified pubes?
So...
Oh yeah, that's making it real.
Okay.
So they've asked for him to have that part of the bull removed.
It's a steer.
They want him castrated.
Steer him to the left, guys. Steer him to the left.
So at first he refused, saying that this was going to bring people to his restaurant. This was going to bring tourists because they would want to see the bull, and then that would make him money, and the whole town hates him, and so that was the only reason that they hated his bull. Since then, this past Friday, he claims, after receiving all of these complaints, he claims that he woke up on Friday and decided that the bull would look better without the oversized genitalia that caused the uproar among his neighbors. He did write to the city. He said, I am not removing the penis for you or because of your complaints. I don't like you. I am doing it for me. I just decided it would look better without the weenie. And oh my god, it's beautiful. So.
So it's now over his mantle.
Probably. So by this time next week, the bull will no longer be offensive. Apparently.
Oh, I'm sure it'll offend somebody.
Oh, I have no doubt at some point it will offend someone. But, yeah. So, moving along. My last story...
It's about Uranus.
No, but it is about space. Sort of. It's more about aliens than anything. Because...
Klingons of Uranus.
God almighty. over the last 10 years, over the last 8 years, astronomers have noticed a radio signal that has been coming through sporadically.
Yes.
They said that they have just finally realized that it actually has a pattern to it. Now, I don't know if that makes anybody else think about Independence Day, but just saying. They said that they have measured the distance of the wavelengths so that they can determine whether it's a high frequency or a low frequency. Of course, the low frequencies travel slower, the high frequencies travel faster. They're trying to determine how far the spread is so that they can try and figure out where it's coming from. They're trying to dispel whether or not it could potentially just be radio waves coming from a different type of supernova, something we haven't experienced before, or if it's actually coming from something that is intelligent. Now, the reason they're thinking that it is not coming from something like a supernova is because the distances of the dispersion measure have all been multiples of the number 187.5. So it's too...
That's a hell of a coincidence.
Yes, it's too much of a pattern for it to be something that they're thinking would be naturally occurring. So they are not ruling out the fact that it could be a message from another planet trying to figure out if there's any other intelligent life in the universe. There is a group that is scientists in search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI. S-E-T-I. They are the ones who are saying that they are looking at this as being something from an extraterrestrial of some sort, from some distant...
Hello, superior creature.
Basically.
That's what it said.
Or they could actually be inferior to us.
That's true. Well, that's what they were saying to us.
No, yeah, there you go. So, if they can figure out where it's coming from, they want to actually send out a response. Now, we sent out multiple wavelength communications out into space. Television shows, radio signals, all kinds of things, just to see if we got any kind of response. This could potentially be a response to that.
True.
What, Chuck? You look like you're about to burst.
I just have one question to ask you.
Okay.
Laura, why did I send my mother to Atlanta?
Basically. So, yeah. Again, it just sounds too much like Independence Day with the pattern and all that stuff.
Well, listen, if they want to find out if it's like Independence Day, first off, we have to find Randy Quaid. Second off, we need Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman to give us a great speech. And this signal,
You need Jeff Goldblum.
we need Jeff Goldblum.
As long as the aliens are Mac-based, he can connect to their computer system.
Yes.
And take them down. Take them, do your job. Take them. Do your stuff. Although, I would vote for Bill Pullman.
Would you?
For president.
Heck yeah.
But here's the question. Would you vote for Bill Pullman as the actor or Bill Pullman as the character in Independence Day?
The character in Independence Day.
Okay.
President Pullman.
Yes.
I don't think that was his name in the movie.
What was it Archer? President Archer?
I'm not sure.
Something like that. I don't remember.
Sure. All I want to know is what happens when the clock reaches 0.
Checkmate.
Wow.
I've got pop culture ADD. I can't help it.
Seen the movie way too much.
Yep. You do know they're working on Independence Day too, right?
No, I did not.
Yes.
Just don't light the cigar till the fat lady sings is all I know.
So you're obsessed with the fat lady. Just get us out of here. Jeff Goldblum is going to be in it. Bill Pullman also.
Have you seen the commercial he is in? I forget what it's for. It's for some sort of website. He looks bad.
It looks completely different. And I think they're going for that in that commercial. I think they're going for like a Steve Jobs look. So maybe it's not. But you think about it. Independence Day came out 20 years ago.
Has it been 20 years?
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Well, and because I got to see it in theaters, and my mom threw the newspaper when the alien throws the guy up against the glass.
Your mom threw a newspaper?
She did. It was hysterical. But I did not realize that was Jeff Goldblum until I heard his voice.
Yeah.
Laura.
What?
The guy that was thrown up against the glass was Data.
I know that.
They don't let them out very much.
But no, Mom we were at the beach.
Confessions.
we had gone to Myrtle Beach actually,
yes.
And it was god awful time to go to Myrtle Beach because it was spring break and there were teenagers and it was just god awful.
It was Independence
Day. So
aliens were about.
Independence Day was playing at the theater. We all wanted to see it. So my parents paid an exuberant amount of money so we could go and watch it at the movie theaters there in Myrtle Beach.
I'm back.
And my mom had picked up a newspaper as we went into the theater.
Yes.
So she has it in her lap.
Yes.
And Dana gets thrown up against the glass. She didn't scream. I swear she didn't move. But that newspaper went about 4 feet in the air, turned up, and came back down. The guy behind us started laughing hysterically. It was quite good. And, I mean, you could tell by the music that something was about to happen.
Yeah.
But it just startled her enough. It just, whoop, there it went. It was just...
Poor Data.
I love that scene because the
alien?
No, the guy who was the general
Baldwin.
No, he was the major.
No, you're thinking about the guy that when they ask him if it's bulletproof.
Yeah, he asked the major if that glass is bulletproof, and he goes, "No, sir." And about 8 people have guns all of a sudden pointing at the glass, and he just pumps that entire room full of lead.
It worked.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
At that point, we knew we could kill him.
Yeah,
We'd just get him out of those damn ships.
And that was the one person named Baldwin that is not part of the Baldwin family. Adam Baldwin, not related to the other ones at all.
Yes.
Good for him.
Well,
yeah, because the rest of them are a mess.
Out of all this talk, it has led me to one thing.
What's that?
I'm just anxious to get up there and kick some alien ass.
Kick E.T.'s ass.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And what is that smell?
Sorry.
I think that's actually probably one of my most favorite roles that I've seen Will Smith in.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Oh, no, you didn't just shoot that green crap at me. I toned it down.
Very good.
Could have just used a bleep.
Well, I didn't have one on hand. So, again...
I'm sorry, that is the end of my news.
Again,
okay.
And they were wonderful stories.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with Uranus, but it did have to do with space.
Well, you know that's where the aliens are coming from.
What we do know from past episodes of the Ninja Troll...
You can make anything about space have to do with Uranus.
Nope.
Because you're obsessed with it.
Listen to me. The lesson that we have learned, when you go into outer space, you come back smelling like you've been on Uranus.
Well, there's not really any toilets up there, so...
And there's not really any way to take a shower either.
I think what they need to do is get that spray, that spritz that they put
the poopery.
The poopery.
The poopery,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Mix that
Spray
with
it on
the Wizinator.
I don't think they have any problems going.
Well, it's just a complete and utterly done deal at that point. All right. So, Tim, what have we got coming up after this?
Coming up after this, we're going to take a look at our movie and TV news where we're going to talk about the Flash and the season finale of The Walking Dead.
And we are 8 days away from Marvel releasing Daredevil on Netflix. And people,
why did you have to point that out to him?
No. It occurred to me today
that it was 13 days away.
No.
Tim corrected you.
Listen. I got to doing the math, and I found out that yesterday.
That's where it all fell apart.
Yesterday
was
April Fool's Day. So, me being the kind of guy that I am, being the April Fool. It's April.
Just April.
It's April. And therefore, we are just days away from Daredevil. Don't fight it, honey. Don't fight it. Just think about that.
I already know I'm going to be losing my TV for like 3 days.
Let it.
Because, no, here's the thing. You know how he loves to give me a hard time about how I binge watch?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know he's going to do that.
He binge watched for House of Cards. He binge watched for Orange is the New Black. He binge watched for something else. What was it? Marco Polo.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to say
Marco?
Why? Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said Marco
Polo. See, there you go.
Let me tell you why I binge watch those shows. Because you can't get them on TV.
But you can still say, okay, I'm going to watch one episode today.
Yeah, they're not going away.
And one tomorrow.
No, they will take it off.
Day.
Netflix will take it. Oh, they'll do it. They're like Charlie Sheen. They'll cold cock you.
Kind of like when they accidentally released House of Cards and a bunch of people got to start watching it and then they had to yank it again.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't get started watching it and then they yanked it. Oh, I would have been so mad.
The look on your face when I told you that it was there and it was already taken down, you look like somebody had punched you.
Even though, we haven't finished that.
Someone had pooed in his Cracker Jack.
Yes, they did. Farted in my lunchbox.
I got the poo on me.
All right, so we've got the movie and TV news just right around the corner. Keep it right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast. We are the only podcast with a kick. Hi, folks. This is Chuck Charles from the Ninja Troll Digicast. Are you an owner of an online business and are needing help getting the word out about your business? Online media is on the rise. More and more people are listening to podcasts just like this one every day. If you are serious about getting your online business to grow, then let the Ninja Troll reach that prime audience. Reaching more and more people online is what you really want to do. Contact us at ninjatrolldigicast@gmail.com. Show the World Wide Web that you mean business. Reach out to us today. That address again, ninjatrolldigicast@gmail.com.
That's personal. I don't know what to say. Oh my god. Okay, I can't do this.
I can't think of anything clean.
My rump roast. My caboose. The booty.
Nalguitas. Sweet cheeks.
Big sexy.
Moneymaker. My booty.
Bum.
The donkadonk.
I think you just call it my butt.
No matter what you call it,
Have it checked.
have it checked.
Have it checked. Love your butt. For more information on Colon Cancer Awareness Month, visit loveyourbutt.org today.
The Ninja Troll Digicast. Put that shit on everything.
They had me at 15 seconds.
They had you before they ever posted it.
Yeah, they did.
What had you? Tell us what had you.
This whole series, man. This whole series. Now,
I'm trying to get you to say Daredevil coming on Netflix.
Oh, well, I was
Not
getting to
everybody hears all the stuff that's rattling around inside your head. You have to verbalize these things.
The only podcast with a kick. This is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
And we're back right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast. We are the defenders of all things geek culture. So, we have to go down here. Let me get this back up. Now, yes, there we go. We can do this right here.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time to head to the comic rack.
Hey, nice rack.
The latest news from the world of comic books, comic book movies, and TV. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Okay. So, here is some things that have been going on since we have been away. First off, there is a new poster for everybody's favorite movie, the new Fantastic Four. This is going to be the sleeper of the century. The reason I say it's going to be the sleeper of the century, I'm predicting that everyone in the theater will be asleep when this thing's done.
The only question that comes out of that poster
is
why did they take a picture of Thing while he was pooping?
Hold on a second. It's scrolling back through here.
Look at that poster.
It is.
He looks like he's popping a squat.
Yeah, it does kind of.
Oh. My.
See?
Yeah.
Of course, that's got to hurt for him, so.
Yeah.
It's kind of rocky. Ooh, or maybe it comes out like lava.
Oh.
Ah!
I got the diarrhea.
All right.
Because it'll kill you.
Let's see. News from Deadpool. Deadpool is going to receive an R rating.
Did you watch that video?
No, I did not.
Oh, God. Okay. It's all set up and it came out on April Fool's Day. So, but it's like the extra, I think it's extra that Mario Lopez does stuff for.
Yes.
He had Ryan Reynolds on for an interview. And he's sitting there talking to him, Deadpool's coming out, and it's so great of you to be making a family-friendly movie like Deadpool. And Ryan Reynolds kind of goes, well, I don't know if I'd call it family-friendly. And he just, Mario Lopez just keeps on about how it's going to be family-friendly. And then they're set up like it's a satellite shot where they're in two locations. So it goes to the shot of Mario Lopez, and you see Deadpool full costume behind him. He walks past, goes and picks something up. I'm not even sure what it was he picked up. But he picks up something, comes back behind him, and slams Mario Lopez in the side of the head with it. Then says, you're safe now, Jesse. Slater can't hurt you anymore.
Wow.
It was hilarious.
Wow. Okay, also going back, let's take a look. We also have seen the new poster and trailer for the new James Bond movie.
I haven't. I haven't watched it yet.
It is looking to me like, well, first and foremost, Daniel Craig is a great James Bond, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
He is more of now, Laura would probably argue with me, maybe not so much, because Sean Connery's one of those guys that women go gaga over. The older he gets, the better he looks. And
oh, yes.
See?
Yeah.
It's all in the age. So we've got to look at that. We also have seen, we've also heard that Disney is going to release a live-action Mulan.
Okay.
Apparently they didn't make enough money on the cartoon.
Apparently somebody wanted to see that. I don't personally know anybody, but
I just can't wait to see the CGI dragon and Eddie Murphy doing the voice. If you have anybody else in that role, it's going to be bad. Even though chances are they're not going to have a dragon.
You gotta have Mushu.
Well, if they don't have a dragon in the live-action Mulan, keep in mind, we have our own dragon right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
I am not available.
Huh?
What about Cricky? The cricket?
Ah.
The lucky cricket? Cricky?
Yes. He went to Tim's house and didn't make it out alive.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He is dead. I went chemical warfare on him.
Wow.
I hate crickets. I'm sorry. I'll kill them.
We also have news that G.I. Joe 3 enlists Aaron Berg for script duties. Hollywood Reporter brings word today, this according to yesterday, that Paramount Pictures has enlisted Section 6 screenwriter Aaron Berg to pen the upcoming G.I. Joe 3.
Yeah, I never heard of him.
So we're looking forward to that.
I think so.
Also, news from the X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
They are doing a reboot, and yes, David Duchovny announces that Skinner and Smoking Man will return in the X-Files.
Nice. And it's going to be a six-part miniseries. So I think it's not like a full series.
Right. It's just enough to tease you, make you mad, find out if people like it, find out if people want it. And if they want it, then dad blame it. We're going to continue with this.
Well,
I think it'll be successful.
The X-Files was even mentioned in a song out of the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be successful. I think there's plenty of people out there that still love it, and they'll watch it. I mean,
I don't think that I remember Fiona Apple singing anything about the X-Files.
No, it was a song called Bad Touch.
Oh.
Called Bad Touch.
Well, it was.
Bad Touch.
No, it's the name of the song.
And also, one of your favorite bands, the Canadian band who does the Big Bang Theory, Bare Naked Ladies.
Yes. Mentioned in one of their songs as well.
One of theirs. Yep. So, hey, the X-Files.
That's what I thought you meant when you first said that.
No.
So there's two then.
Yes.
Tim Dixon, here's you something that you can get excited about. Toho debuts teaser for 2016 Godzilla film.
Oh, Gojira.
And it announces co-directors. Though Warner Brothers is developing their own Godzilla sequel, I don't think that they should. Leave it to the professionals, boys. Leave it to the professionals.
Well, if they actually put Godzilla in it this time, it'll be a whole lot better.
Exactly. He
didn't show up a whole lot.
Let's see.
It's all Heisenberg.
Yes. Arrow's Stephen Amell. He has been casted to play Casey Jones in the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to that. A New Gotham TV spot teases the first season's final 4 episodes. I'm also excited about that.
I haven't actually seen the trailer. What are they teasing for the rest of for the end of the season?
Well, it's about the streets of Gotham have been pretty quiet for the last few weeks as we've been without any new episodes of the hit Batman-inspired Fox television series. That's going to change. Hold on.
So you haven't seen it either.
Going to change. Hold on now.
We're walking.
Keep up, people. Keep up.
Answer the question.
Let's see. With any new episodes to hit the Batman-inspired Fox television series, that's going to change in less than a fortnight. However, as Gotham is back on April 13th with a brand new episode, Beast of Prey.
Quick test. How long is a fortnight?
4 nights.
No. Fortnight.
No.
How long is a fortnight?
4 nights.
No.
No.
Do you know what a fortnight is?
It's 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's actually when you take a
days.
tent and put it up in the yard.
Hey now.
And you go and sleep in it.
No.
That's a fortnight.
It's 14 days.
You can build it in your living room, too.
Yes. Yes. I'm even thinking about draping something over the table here so I can get in my little fort. Let's see. Today, as of, March 31st, today, then Fox has released a new Gotham TV spot that teases what's to come between now and the end of the season.
But what is to come? Answer the question.
Well, what I'm looking at here is a picture of Jim Gordon. He is obviously in crime-fighting mode. He is talking to the Penguin through gritted teeth. Now, I could play it.
No.
Okay.
You obviously did not come prepared.
I did not. Actually, they slipped this in on me because, well, I've gone back because we've been gone for a while. I don't know if you know that or not. We've been gone for a while.
Oh, I'm well aware.
So I had to go and check out what else has been going on in the comic book movie and TV news. Let's see. Chio Hidari Coker will serve as showrunner for Marvel's Luke Cage, which will also air on Netflix.
And will be connected.
Which is the home of Daredevil. Which
and
premieres
it will be connected to Daredevil.
In 8 days.
And actually, in the last poster that they released for Daredevil, you could see Avengers Tower in the distance. It was like they're in Hell's Kitchen, but you could see Avengers Tower. So it very well may be attached to the larger Marvel universe.
I have to give it up to Marvel for their consistency on this. Because they are literally tying everything in. It all stays in-house except for Spider-Man and Fantastic Four. We still don't know what they're doing.
Spider-Man's back now, so they can include him in stuff like that. And which I think that's really good. I would say he may show up in the Netflix stuff because that's the thing with Spider-Man. Even though he fights these really weird, whacked out villains, he's still kind of, I guess, Earth-based is the best way to say it. Same thing with Daredevil and Luke Cage. They're all street level, fighting guys there on the streets of Hell's Kitchen. So I think it would work out better if you had Spider-Man kind of show up in their shows. They're a little grittier than Spider-Man usually is, but
the way that I look at it is I have been intrigued and I have been entertained with the way that Marvel is doing this. Yes, Bryce Anthony, I just said that. That just happened.
Boom.
But the thing of it is, you have to have Listen, I'm seeing you over here on camera, Dixon, and don't bob your head when I get to a point. I have to think about what I'm going to say before I say it. The reason is, I understand that I look like an idiot, but I try not to look like an idiot. So therefore, anything that I try to stop and think about and say is totally null and void. Just like that. It's absolutely...
Because Dixon...
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
All right, and to wrap up this, before we get into the reviews, this just in from PS4. Limited edition Batman Arkham Knight PS4 bundle revealed. And this is a humdinger. It is metallic in its appearance. You have a gray silhouette of Batman on the top of the PS4, and you have a metallic controller. So with that being said, Bryce Anthony, Uncle Marvel, where's Stan Lee at on this? I don't see him there. Nope.
What's
Stan
that got
Lee's
to do
the
with it?
spokesman for Marvel, Dixon. Keep up, son.
Yeah?
Keep up.
What would that have to do with anything?
Well, they didn't make
to do with Arkham Knight?
make a Marvel bundle. So therefore, I'm going to proclaim once again, DC is greater than Marvel.
I'm going to once again proclaim you're an idiot.
Yes. And with that being said, all is right with the world.
That's right. With the damn you, Dixon.
He tires me, so I can't.
He vexes me.
All right. So now,
actually, I do have one other thing to mention before we get to the reviews.
Okay.
Kevin Smith has announced that he's working on Mallrats 2.
Oh.
if you're,
I thought he had already announced that.
He did a couple weeks ago, but he's been slowly releasing pictures of the different cast members that are going to come back for the sequel. If you're a comic book science fiction geek fan and you haven't watched Mallrats, do yourself a favor, go get it and watch it. It's hilarious.
I just want to know what's in the 3D picture. That's all I want to know.
It's a sailboat, not a schooner.
I don't see it.
A sailboat is or schooner is a sailboat, stupid head.
All right, so let's talk about the reviews. Our reviews for where we're at on our viewing. Sometimes life dictates to us that we can't watch everything, but
like me and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes. We are waiting on Gotham to come back.
Yes.
Daredevil's coming out in 8 days.
I'd heard that somewhere.
On Netflix. I think this is going to be an ongoing thing tonight. That is the theme for tonight. Daredevil. Daredevil's coming in 8 days, Laura. 8 days. I'm just giddy. So, let's start with The Flash. And the only reason I'm saying that we need to start with The Flash is because The Walking Dead was 90 minutes.
Yes.
90 minutes. We'll come to that in just a second. Was I floored by what I found out about Weller? Absolutely.
Wells,
him too. Both of them.
You found out his name was actually Wells.
we find out that all is not what it seems there.
Yeah. Yeah, we finally got a little because we'd all been trying to figure out, okay, he's from the future. Huh?
How did he go back in time? And
yeah, because Wells was around before the time when Barry's mother was killed. So when did he come back in time, and did he, how did he do that?
Right.
So this explained all that. And apparently the guy we saw as Eobard Thawne, before he did that weird freaky thing and took over Wells's DNA, apparently that guy is coming back. We'll see him again. So how that's going to work, I don't know. Or maybe it's going to be in flashbacks. I don't know. But apparently, so you did get a look at, okay, and it almost makes it more, it almost makes you hate him more because you now know that's not Wells. And Wells was a cool guy who had a wife he was in love with. Mm-hmm. And she was stolen from him. Mm-hmm. And then he was sucked dry like a old fruit.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy. It was almost like jumping tables. It's kind of what they reminded me of.
Yeah, that was some impressive effects.
Yes, indeed. But okay, then Mark Hamill has made his return back to the Flash, and he gave us just enough Joker to want to see more Batman the Animated Series.
Well, the Trickster, if you've watched the 1990 series, mm-hmm. It came out like a year or two before Batman the Animated Series. Mm-hmm. And the Trickster was always him kind of getting that character right. So there's a lot of elements of the Joker in Trickster. But he just killed it. He absolutely killed it. It was awesome.
Yes, it was.
I'm your father bit. Oh, the I'm your father bit was hilarious.
Chuck looked at me.
Didn't really make a... Huh?
Chuck looked at me and went,
It didn't make a whole lot of sense in the episode because why would he not? I mean, why would he not tell the kid that before then? But you got to give him a pass on that. And just because it was funny.
I was going to say, anybody that recognized him, which I did not, Chuck had to tell me who he was, but anyone that recognized him and knows the history of the parts he's played, it was just golden.
Oh, yeah, it was hilarious. And I actually, I was sitting there going, they're both in the same scene when they kidnapped Henry. So you've got the original Flash, original Trickster, they're in the same scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
And so I'm loving how they're tipping their hat to the original series all the time.
Yes.
I really like that. And well, actually, the pictures of the Trickster, James Jesse as the Trickster, his lair, the costume in there is all props or pictures from the original series.
You know, the only thing that I felt, I'll have to go back and watch it, but the one thing that needed to be in that scene, in that shot, and I go back to this on the old Batman show, the one thing that I still will watch the old Batman show for is the kicking of the camera so that everything's sideways. It's tilted.
Yeah.
I can't remember if they did that. I don't think they did
think so.
because if they had I would have come unhinged at that point. But here is the most important thing to come out of this episode. Is everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I sat up in bed, almost as giddy as I am knowing that Daredevil's coming in 8 days. When Barry Allen vibrated through the truck.
Yeah.
Because now it is full circle. We know that this is the Flash without a shadow of a doubt. That is the one thing that I have been waiting on and waiting on and waiting on. And it got my attention more than when Clark donned the black shirt with the S on it. As he was what was he called? Was he called the Blur?
Yeah.
In
or something
Smallville?
like that.
So, listen. For me, I get excited when I hear that DC is doing a new television show because they are hitting these things out of the park.
Yeah. And they are working on the spinoff from the Flash and Arrow, or Flaro, as I like to call them.
Flaro.
They've cast the guy who plays Professor Stein.
Yes.
But they haven't said that Robbie Amell is going to be in it. So I'm interested to see what they do with Firestorm. Is it just going to be the Professor, and Ronnie may show up every once in a while and they become Firestorm, or is somehow they going to separate, and Ronnie may be Firestorm by himself?
Well, I am looking at that when that show comes to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
As the most confusing show that's ever been put on television. Because we know the history of Firestorm.
Yeah.
Not only is he a fire and he's a storm, but that's a pretty screwed up character.
Yeah, he's always been two dudes put together. So that's the thing I'm thinking. It's still going to be the two of them have to be together to be Firestorm. So occasionally Ronnie Raymond will show up, and then they'll be able to do something. But I think Professor Stein will be one of the main characters. But you've also got Brandon Routh as the Atom, and somehow I've forgotten her name now, but the girl who played Sarah has been cast in it. So is she playing another character that they're going to somehow explain why she looks like just exactly like Sarah, or is Sarah coming back from the dead? Which would kind of negate a lot of good character development that we've had on Arrow if she does. So that's going to be interesting how they deal with that.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just chalk it up to more confusion.
Yeah.
Lazarus Pit.
So, yeah.
Through the ground
That's a
and into her
possibility.
grave.
That is a distinct possibility because I know you guys haven't watched Arrow yet this week.
No, but, I mean, look at Thalia. She is crushed by the loss of Sarah. So why would she not steal some of the Lazarus Pit fluid and dump it on top of her grave? It'll seep through the ground into her body, and boop, there she's back.
Just like that, poop.
I said boop, not
Oh,
poop.
boop. Just like that, boop.
Although after being
Just like
dead for a
that.
while, I'm sure she's pooped.
Probably.
She probably smells like she's been on Uranus. But
All right. That's enough of that.
And speaking of the Lazarus Pit, let's move on to The Walking Dead.
I don't think Tim was done with the Arrow.
Well, I don't want to talk about much about Arrow because I know you guys haven't watched it, but a lot of huge things happen, and this is said a lot, but this time it's true. Everything changes after this week's episode of the Arrow.
Here's one thing that we can say about Arrow.
It's green.
Yes.
He is green. You're
No,
right.
his outfit's green.
Maybe not for long.
He's skin colored.
If you watch the actually the trailer they have for the rest of the season of Flash,
Yes.
you'll notice he's wearing League of Assassins gear. This is something that aired during Flash, so you should have already seen it.
Well, look, the one thing that we can talk about the Arrow is one of the things that's been done that we haven't covered because we haven't been here is we got to see the Atom suit work.
Yes.
Now, at this point, with him flying, with him being kind of, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Iron Man-ish.
Well, he's definitely not Atomish, so
No. And
he doesn't have any resemblance to the Atom from DC Comics,
well, I think that it
other
does.
than the fact that his name is Ray Palmer.
Well, I think that for the television show, they have to take liberties. Everybody knows that they have to take liberties with it, and I was pretty impressed with the suit.
Oh yeah, it looks awesome.
But the one thing that I am skeptical about at this point is we haven't seen him shrink.
That's what I'm saying. He's exhibited none of the actual powers that the Atom has.
Right.
And which, I always say, with a TV show or a movie, I always look at them as an alternate universe.
Right.
So it very well may not turn out the way we know it. And I think that's the best way. You have to do that because there's going to be things that aren't the same because they decide they're going to go this way with it. So, yeah, I mean, because if you don't, you'll pull your hair out.
Right.
And I already shaved my head, so.
Well, listen, my niece, Danielle, going back to the Flash for a second, up to the point of him going back in time for the day, she was on board with it, but she has proclaimed to me and Laura and Bubba that as long as time travel doesn't come into play, she is fine with it. But once that comes into play, she's is going to have a headache.
Oh, yeah. Well, you just have to kind of play that kind of loose because time travel can get really confusing.
Okay.
It can. It really can. Especially when he goes backwards by one day. And Wells tells him, you have to do everything exactly the same way you did it yesterday. Otherwise, you're going to screw everything up. He doesn't listen, and he screws everything up.
Yep. So he was right.
And then all of a sudden, here comes Bill Murray with a groundhog going over a cliff.
Don't drive angry.
That's right. That's right. So now, we have seen the season finale of The Walking Dead.
Yes, we have.
And what was the big news coming out of that? Well, first off, if anybody has gone to the Facebook page there for the Ninja Troll, there was something that was posted about Stephen King being a writer. I don't know if it was a April Fool's.
I think that was an April Fool's thing.
But the question has to be asked: what if it's not?
Oh, that would be awesome. It would be absolutely awesome.
And they have also released who is this bad guy that you are saying that you had said was in the comic that made the governor look like
an altar boy?
Yes.
Negan.
Yes. I think that was the name, if memory serves me right. I did see something on that.
Well, they've been playing. They say he is coming at some point. I think it will end up being next year because in the comic books, Negan was the leader of a group called the Saviors. I'm thinking in the TV show, they may be named the Wolves.
Could very well be.
Because we've seen all the walkers with W's carved into their foreheads.
Yes,
wolves.
And every time we keep seeing wolves not far. So I think the group in the comic book that was the Saviors, I think will be called the Wolves in the TV show. But they may also be, the Wolves may be a group called the DC Scavengers, which was another group that they ran into. So we may have them, which leads up to the Saviors.
Okay, so the news that was announced there was Robert Patton. Is that his name?
Pattinson, I think.
Pattinson?
The guy from Twilight?
Yes.
Twilight. There's something that I had read that states he is signed on board for that role. And I'm quite
for what?
For
Negan?
Yes, for Negan. Hold on a second.
No, that's got to be a April Fool's joke.
Go ahead. I'm gonna look this up here, and you talk a little bit about what you learned on this week's Walking Dead.
I learned it's a dictatorship, baby. This ain't no democracy.
Well, and it was interesting to see what's his face? What's his name? Help me out here.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Morgan.
It was interesting to see how Morgan and Rick have completely flipped roles.
Yep.
Because
apparently Morgan found time to go to the Jedi Academy.
Yeah. With his hope hole.
Exactly. It amazes me that Morgan is such a huge fan favorite character. He's only been in 3 episodes before now.
Yeah. But his character is very powerful.
It's true, yeah. And he was, every time I see him, I think of him going, "Did you get bit?"
Yeah.
So, okay, I've got egg on my face. April Fool's Day, April Fool's. But
you know what? I'm happy with that because if they had cast him as Negan, I would drive to Atlanta and punch somebody in the face.
Well, the only thing that I would be skeptical about is if he glistened in the sunlight.
Yeah. Well, Negan is who kills Glenn.
Oh.
In the comic books.
Well,
in an incredibly brutal way.
Rumor has it that John Hamm is also in line for this role.
That, I'd say, is awesome. That I think he could nail. The only real issue about Negan bringing him into the TV show is literally he says the F word like 4 words in the comic book. How they're going to do that on the TV show, I have no idea. But he puts sailors to shame when it comes to cussing.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how they're going to do that. But I love the fact that they're talking about bringing him in, because, like I said, this makes the governor look like a Sunday drive.
Well, did you watch any of Ad Men?
Of what?
Ad Men. Or
You mean Mad Men?
Mad Men, yes.
No.
Okay, see, that's something that I would have to visit to find out his acting skills. I mean, I know that Mad Men was...
He's carried a show, one of the most popular shows on TV for the past 5 years, so I figure he's doing all right.
Okay, well, with that being said, Robert Pattinson carried Twilight. Now,
And your point is?
Look at me the way that you want to look at me, but hear me out. Twilight did some very good numbers at the box office.
But was never accused of being a good movie.
Still yet. It's just the question is, can he go to that dark place?
No.
That he need not Robert Pattinson. I'm talking about John Hamm. Can he go to that dark place that he needs to be for this role? Because this role is obviously completely different than the role that he had in Mad Men.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see, but the thing is, they've proven time and again they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And because, if you think about Abraham, Eugene, and Sarita, when they first showed up, they showed up at the end of an episode, and they basically recreated almost exactly down to the way they were standing, the way everything looked around them, and everything was an exact duplication of a full page spread in the comic book when they introduced them on there. So they're not slavish to the comic book, obviously, because in the comic book, Carol is long dead.
Right.
By suicide, of all things.
Right.
Daryl never existed in the comic book. So they're not slavish to it. But when important characters in the comic book are brought onto the show, they obviously treat them with respect, and they know how to bring them on.
Right. So, with everything that happened in this final episode for the season of Walking Dead, first and foremost, I think that we will revisit what happened to Glenn and how he got away from the zombies.
Dude, yeah, we have to talk about the revolving door, because we haven't been on in a while. So, yes. Okay. First off,
that guy would not have made it back to camp.
Oh yeah, and it's only because it's Glenn, and he is still somehow he's still a quality human being. Mm-hmm. He has managed to keep his moral compass through this entire thing.
Amazingly, because I wouldn't have.
Exactly, nobody, and that's the thing. Actually, Norman Reedus was on Talking Dead after this week's episode, the little talk show that they have after it on AMC, and the host Chris Hartwig asked Norman Reedus, would Nicholas to town if Daryl would have been in Glenn's spot, and he said absolutely no way. It would have been dead.
Oh yeah,
graveyard dead. But yeah, he's managed to keep his moral compass, and he still will not do something unless he has to.
Yeah,
right.
And so he gets him and takes him back, but even after he shoots him, So this is twice now that he's done that. If anybody needs killing, this dude does.
Yes.
But just coming from a writing standpoint is just brilliant to look at that revolving door and go, okay, how could we get them in here to where it's
life or death.
Yeah. And,
Why
and
would
they
try?
somebody looked at a revolving door and went, hey, if they were stuck in there, walkers on, pushing in this side and pushing on this side, and they're trapped. It's just ingenious the way they did it. And then hats off to the writers for coming up with that. And then hats off to both Noah, because I can't remember the kid's name because we always call him Everybody Hates Chris, and Glenn.
Yeah.
For their performances.
Yes.
And apparently everybody doesn't hate Chris.
Zombies love Chris.
The zombies thought he was delicious.
Yes.
Yeah, when they rip his cheeks off, it was...
Everybody ate Chris.
Yeah.
I've been waiting a couple weeks for that one. But yeah, the whole scene where I mean, yeah, it was brutal because when he was pressed up against the glass and Glenn had to sit there and watch.
Yeah.
It was,
yeah.
That would really screw you up. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how pure-hearted you are. That would screw you up. That would earn a knife to the skull.
Well, and that's the thing. He did go past the Glenn level because Glenn has never done anything like that, but he went and beat the kid unconscious.
Right.
But see, then you leave him there for the walkers.
That would be my choice, but it's not Glenn. And I think, when we talked to, last time we talked with Rabid Dan, the zombie man.
Yes.
That was something he brought up about Glenn. That's his favorite character in both the comic and the TV show. And I think that's a big part of it. He has a moral code, and he may bend it occasionally because he does what he has to do. But if it's not necessary, he's not going to take someone's life. And that, I mean, the whole interchange between the two of them when they're out there and after Nicholas shoots him and Nicholas admits, I don't belong here. I'm not supposed to be out here. Which is exactly what they have been telling them the entire time. You people aren't prepared.
Right.
You don't know what's going on out here. You're not prepared.
Yeah, but what are the repercussions going to be on the preacher? Because the guy that was guarding the gate said, I told him to close the door. And he's the one that didn't close it. He's the one that put the whole town...
He can't even kill himself right.
I know, right?
I don't... This sounds really weird to say, but the preacher needs to die.
Yes, I agree.
I agree. And you know what? With the coming of Morgan...
Hey, Morgan. Hey, I hadn't seen you. Hold on just a second. I got to shoot this guy in the head, and then we'll talk.
Look, with Morgan coming on board, first and foremost, he is going to be...
The new black guy.
I know. So, yeah, Father Gabriel's... He's in trouble.
Well, but that fills the void of the preacher not being there.
Oh, so you're saying he's like the new spiritual?
Yes. He'll be the new moral compass.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's...
what was the dad's name?
Herschel.
He's the new Herschel.
That's never good. If you're ever kind of the moral center on this show...
Yeah, you're right.
A couple weeks later, you're gone, man.
Okay, but see, the thing about Morgan that Herschel couldn't do is wield that cane, that walking stick.
Oh, dude.
He is lethal.
He was going off.
Yeah.
And I love the way he played it because when he was fighting, and I know this comes down to the stunt people that are and the fight choreographers on the show, but he did that the way he should. When you're fighting more than one person, you don't look at either one of them.
Right.
You look down, and you track them in your peripheral vision.
Exactly.
And he pulled that off perfectly.
Right. Right. So now, another thing that we have to address here is the whole post-traumatic stress syndrome that everybody has.
And I think Sasha, worst of all.
PTSD does not even begin to explain what she's going through.
Dude, yeah. When she laid down on the pile of walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then she goes to the preacher for guidance, and he's like, "Yep, you're screwed."
Oh, God. Yeah, that he needs to be just punched in the face.
I believe that was the best primal scream that I have heard from anybody when she went off on him.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we saw Rick snap. We saw Rick absolutely and utterly snap, but it was with good reason. It was
he snapped, but he also kind of came back.
Yeah.
He snapped at the end of the last episode.
Yes.
He was crazed.
Yes.
And Michonne needed to knock him out.
Yes.
To pull him down there because he had gotten a little out of control.
Well, not only that, but that gave the townspeople a feeling of relief that, yes, he's gone too far. Yes, he's kind of jumped over the deep end, but one of his own people was able to take him down. And if one of his own can take him down, then maybe we shouldn't be so scared of him after all. And
everything in the finale, everything he warned them about happened.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why and a big part of what was her name? The head of the congresswoman.
The congresswoman.
Yeah, a big part of her telling him to do it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Was her husband is now dead.
Yes.
But it's also a big part of it is she realizes he's right. Mm-hmm. They don't know what they're doing. She doesn't know what she's doing.
She literally just handed the town over.
Yeah, and that is exactly what happens in the comic book, except she's a dude, and he the leader of Alexandria was a guy, Douglas, and his wife is the one that got killed by Pete.
So they just kind of flipped it.
They just flipped it around, yeah. Yeah. But that is also their engineer. He's the one who designed the walls.
Yes.
So that is a question there. But this is also a chance for Eugene to step up and start pulling his weight, as he puts it. Because he's not a scientist who has the answer to the apocalypse, but something he continually says is true. He is very smart.
Right. Yes.
And he in the comic books, he actually begins to make he figures out a way to make ammunition. So he starts pulling his weight by making ammunition, so that they can fight Negan's group.
Right. All right. So we are pretty much up to speed with where everything is at, except for the dynamic that is not. It is taking place, but it's like unspoken, and I think that times are really, really getting to Glenn and Maggie, because their relationship is not where it was when they came into this town.
It's a little stressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she's starting to take on a little more of a leadership role.
Right.
And in the comic book, she ends up as the leader of another community there in the area.
I could see her doing that.
Yeah, and you can start to see them progressing her character along to that point. But Glenn is having issues.
Yes.
And a big part of it is, like we were saying, everybody's got PTSD.
Yes.
So that's a part of it. And you have to look at, okay, they came together in a time of great stress. Them coming to Alexandria and being relatively safe, is that going to affect how their relationship works?
Yeah. Yeah. So the two things that happened that really got to me was the scene there at the loading dock.
Oh yeah.
That was very well. That was a very well put together trap.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then to put them back, just turn on the music and the disco ball, and they go right back in.
Yep. That's why I'm thinking that the wolves are the saviors. That is Negan's group, because the DC scavengers weren't that organized, weren't that smart about stuff. The Negan is really smart, and that little trap there kind of definitely gave me the feel that was his work.
Yes. So with that, I mean, you really get a sense of danger. I mean,
yeah.
It was just you knew without a doubt that this was very big.
It was a trap, and it was. I mean, there's no other way to say it. That's a trap set for somebody.
Yes. And the whole thing that I thought was very interesting is how Daryl made the statement of he's claustrophobic inside the town, but when he is in a vehicle that is consumed by zombies, he's at home.
Yeah,
he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that community just doesn't fit him.
Right.
Like you said, Laura, it's almost a yuppie kind of place, and he doesn't belong.
Right.
So he feels more comfortable outside the wall.
Right. So, and the next thing that we definitely have to address here is the reunion of Rick and Morgan.
Yeah.
We are definitely anxious to find out how that dynamic is going to change. Will Morgan have to go away and not be a part of this, even though I don't see that happening?
Yeah.
I think something's going to happen to the preacher, and even though the preacher does not have a moral compass right now, the biggest moral compass that the group has. Are you ready for this? Carl.
Okay.
Carl is the only voice of reason there. Carl
Dude.
Papa again is the man.
He's now found a girl his age.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think reason is going to enter into his his vocabulary.
Well, and not to mention, she likes to be outside the walls.
Yeah.
And she came from outside of the city, so not only is she his age, but she knows what he's been through.
Yeah.
And with all of that included, he's not only connecting with her as being of the same age, but they know what the quote-unquote real world is like. So
Yeah.
they can share in those experiences.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. And in the comic books, he just has developed a bond with somebody they captured and actually had in the jail in Alexandria. She was from a group called the Whisperers. They actually put on walker skins.
Yes.
And walked around with them.
Yes. Yes. So, wait a minute. Hold on a second. There is something else that I forgot to mention. And I think that everybody will agree with me here. When Carol shows up...
I was waiting on you to say that.
When she shows up with this nice feast to give to this guy, because he has moved out of the house to protect his wife.
No, they moved him.
They removed him.
Yes.
It was Carol being able to face her husband.
Absolutely.
And do it the way that it was supposed to be done. But we both know, everybody here knows, that was a different time in her life. That she didn't have the strength that she has now.
Well, it was almost two parts. It was her facing off with Pete, which was the beginning part, where she was saying, I could kill you.
Yeah.
No one would have a problem with it. They would think you tried to hurt me.
Right.
They wouldn't have a problem with it.
Right.
That was her talking to Pete. Then she stepped back and looked at him and said, "You're weak." I think that was her talking to Ed.
Yeah. So we are at definitely, I think that there are some character arcs going on here.
But you think about that whole scene.
Yeah.
He didn't back down from Rick.
Mm-mm.
He backed down from Carol.
Yes.
He was scared of her.
He was scared of her.
But that actually plays well into general psychology, because if you ask any criminal in a jail, and I know this because one of my professors actually conducted the survey. And it was, which are you more afraid of? A well-trained male with a gun pointed directly in your face. Are you more afraid of him, or are you more afraid of a hysterical female holding a shotgun that's waving it all over the place? They are more afraid of a woman waving a shotgun all over the place because they don't know where they're going to get shot.
I'll take a bear trap in the middle of the woods for 1,000, Alex.
Well, I think it was even what made that scene even worse. She wasn't hysterical.
Right.
She was totally calm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that, I think, was the scariest thing. And she told him matter-of-factly, I could kill you right here, and no one would think anything about it.
Yeah.
That's scary stuff.
Yeah. So we're definitely looking for next October when this thing fires up again.
And hats off to Robert Kirkman. I doubt he was the one that came up with the title, but the producers of this new series coming up with the least inspired name for the spinoff series. It's called Fear the Walking Dead. That's the best you could come up with?
Well, they're dead and they're walking. You need to be afraid.
I know, but come on.
It's kind of like fire and storm. You need to be confused.
I just think they could have come up with a better name.
Probably. Have you heard when that's going to start up?
Summer is all they're saying.
Okay. So it's kind of like The Voice.
So yeah, we'll basically have not year round, but now be closer to having Walking Dead year round. Because the fall will be for the regular series, and then summer will be for the new series.
Well,
Fear the Walking Dead.
Do you think that there is going to be some kind of meeting of these people?
I don't think that's possible because this one's set in L.A. And we don't have modern transportation, so.
But we do know that with this technology that's in this town, because my understanding is they're able to watch DVDs and they're able to, they have power, they have water, they have all of that.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's one of those things to where you get contact through the means of shortwave radio.
I kind of hope not, because the isolation is a big part of the show. That feeds into that's one thing that I've always liked about zombie movies is a singular zombie is not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. It's the masses of them.
Yes.
And the fact that you're isolated and you only have a limited amount of ammo mm-hmm. before you have, or food before you have to go find stuff.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you like contact them to other people, it kind of takes away one of the elements that makes the show so good.
Yeah.
And from looking at the promo for this,
mm-hmm.
it looks like it's set like at the outbreak. Because you hear a Los Angeles DJ going, "Hey, you better go out there and get your flu shot because there's a virus going around." So it sounds like that's going back to the when the outbreak happens.
I want you to look into your camera, see my eyes, Tim Dixon. Don't ever do that again.
You got it. Taking the racks and stacks of wax.
Yeah. So, what have we got coming up?
Coming up after this, we're going to take a look at our comic book news.
All right. So you want to keep it right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast. We are the only podcast with a kick.
Nurse, I need you to apply pressure to the head wound until I can get to it. I'm concerned she's lost too much blood.
Oh, no.
You in the corner. Who are you? You're not supposed to be here.
She's my girlfriend, Doctor.
You need to wait out in the waiting room.
Please, Doctor, I want to stay with her.
Look, she's been badly injured. So if you want to do what's best for her, you need to let us do our work.
Please, Doctor, she has to be okay. I didn't mean to do this. I love her.
Wait a second. You were the driver?
Yes, but I didn't mean to. I swear, we went to dinner. I was just buzzed. I only had a few drinks.
Just buzzed? Why didn't you tell us that? In that case, your girlfriend is fine.
Hey, sweetie. I feel great. You want to get out of here?
I can't believe this. Really, Doctor? She's really okay?
What, are you kidding? No, not really. Nurse, get me a suture kit. Stat.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Ad Council, and this station.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
I'm Cully Hamner, artist of The Question in Red, and you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Heard right here on Spreaker.com. We are the only podcast with a kick. We are the Ninja Troll Digicast. Thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Mr. Warm and Fuzzy Fillin', the impersonator of dragons.
Right.
What's going on in the comics?
Okay, well, some of this news is a little older because I over the past couple of weeks when I didn't realize we weren't going to have a show, I was putting stuff together. So the February sales leaders, as far as comic sales, have come out. Orphan Black from IDW. I don't know if that was the top of the list or not. That doesn't seem right that IDW would have the top selling comic, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Darth Vader #1, Spider-Gwen #1, and Batman #39 was #5. I think that was That and Justice League number 39 was at number 10. That was the only 2 DC Comics top 10 lists. Everything else was
Tim?
Okay, so Tim is stuck. I tell you what, we're going to take another break, and we'll be right back right after this.
Happy birthday, dear Smokey.
Happy birthday, Smokey Bear. The great outdoors and everyone in it thanks you for 70 years of wildfire prevention. For safety tips, visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state foresters, and the Ad Council.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement.
Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know you're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up! Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, tail-wagging, backyard-hanging, and, of course, companionship.
And what breed would you say Satchmo is?
I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier-hound chihuahua-looking kind of mix.
Tremendous dog.
I'd also like to point out Satchmo's coloring, a white, gray, brown, black brindle, simply marvelous.
You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this.
Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group.
And finally, the loving face lick.
It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks.
Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
For over 70 years, Smokey Bear has asked you to use fire responsibly.
Fire is due to an unattended campfire.
Go time.
Here's how you can stay on the front lines of preventing wildfires. Always watch your campfire before leaving. Drown it, stir it, drown it again, and feel that the fire is out cold.
Oh, bullseye!
And you won't need a visit from Dusty's team.
Copy that.
Visit SmokeyBear.com for more fire prevention tips. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state foresters, and the Ad Council.
And we're back right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast, the only podcast with a kick and the only defenders of geek culture. Having a little problem with their Timmy D there.
Yes.
So, you got a movie.
Yes, I did.
And the movie is Dragon Ball Z, Battle of the Gods.
Yes.
So, let's hear your review of the movie.
Well, it starts out very similar to pretty much all of the Dragon Ball Z movies. We have where, you start out with Goku is training, of course. And it centers around Bulma's 38th birthday, which of course we don't find out it's her 38th birthday until later in the movie. But if you've watched any of Dragon Ball Z, you know that Bulma's family is incredibly rich. So they're going to play bingo where they're going to give away prizes like a castle, a full set of Dragon Balls, that sort of thing. Beerus is the god of destruction, and he decides that he is going to wake up after only 39 years of sleeping rather than his usual 50, because he had a dream about a Super Saiyan god. Now, the Super Saiyan God is beyond all levels of Super Saiyan. I know that currently they have up to level 3 Super Saiyan, which is when he ends up looking like a hedgehog. But
yes,
throughout the movie we find that in order for Goku to achieve the Super Saiyan God level, he actually has to have an additional 5 Saiyans to provide their essence to him so that he can have this state. But the state is going to be brief, and it's not something that he can create on his own through any kind of training or anything else, which really actually ends up just making him mad, and he refuses to fight once he's in that state. But Beerus has decided he is going to destroy the planet Earth because he did not get any pudding. Because Boo ate all the pudding cups.
Okay.
Now, I mean, Dragon Ball Z has always had a level of goofiness, but this movie took it to a whole new level. And the other thing that bothered me is, there's a formula to Dragon Ball Z. You have a bad guy that shows up. He beats up on the good guys for a while. Then the good guys get the upper hand. Then they start getting beat up again. And then in some last-ditch effort, usually Gohan or Goku, or a combination of the two, end up winning the battle at the last moment. And usually through some form of sacrifice.
Right.
And with this movie, instead, what ends up happening is Beerus decides that after fighting with Goku that he respects him, even though it's obvious that Goku cannot beat him. And Goku actually manages to reach the Super Saiyan God level by himself for just a brief moment, just long enough to, of course, save the planet. And he doesn't know how he did it. Beerus doesn't know how he did it. They just know that it happened. And at the end of the movie, it really ends up feeling like an after-school special. Because Beerus just decides that he's going to destroy a small piece of the Earth instead of the whole planet. And then he's going to go back home and go back to sleep. He apologizes to Bulma for ruining her birthday party and tells her that he hopes that she will invite him to the next one, which, if he's going to sleep for 50 years, it's going to be a while. They briefly talk about the fact that there are 9 different dimensions, so there are 9 different gods of destruction, and he's not the strongest of them all. It was almost like we got to a point where we had to come to an end to the movie. That the movie just needed to end, that we couldn't let it continue to go on.
Yes.
So it was like, oh, crap. Okay, we've been here for, an hour and a half, 2 hours, however long it is, so we need to put an ending on the movie. We can't have, a 15-week-long battle, so we're just going to make it an after-school special and end it.
So they don't want to have the typical battle.
Right. So it ended up, honestly, I was okay with the goofiness. I was okay with the fact that Beerus wanted to destroy the planet because he didn't get any pudding cups because, well, he's a god of destruction, so when you get mad, what do? You destroy stuff. But when they went off into this after-school special of Beerus apologizing for ruining the party, and Beerus, being apologetic for hitting Bulma because she smacked him in the face, so he hit her back. Just all of that, just really make it a 2-part movie if you have to, because it was just, I was so aggravated with it. I literally, it gets to the end of the movie. I don't know what happened in the last 5 minutes of the movie. I turned it off. I was so disgusted. I mean, I am a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, but I was so disgusted with the after-school special crap that they pulled out in that movie, which is not what Dragon Ball Z is supposed to be a part of. I just said, screw it. Just turn it off. I'm going to bed.
I'm going to date myself here for a second. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Nancy McKeon was on board, and it was a great after-school special.
It's what it felt like.
It's a very special blossom.
Yes. Oh, God, it was so bad.
Yes, it's a very stirring rendition of Dragon Ball Z.
And then you have to be really, really mad about how bad it is if you give up with just 5 minutes left.
Yeah. And, at one point while I'm watching it, I was like, I don't know about the kids watching this one, because Gavin is just chomping at the bit to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm not too sure. And then we get to the after-school special crap at the end. I was like, nope, totally good for the kids.
Well, listen, the one thing that I was shocked with, and glad you could come back and join us there, Mr.
Thank you. Yeah, after Skype pooped the bed.
The thing about Dragon Ball Z is the first time that I watched Dragon Ball Z, this is what I saw. I saw a blue-haired girl.
That would be Bulma.
And a young boy.
That would be Goku.
In a bathtub with water up to her cleavage.
Just covering what needed to be covered.
And this was on Sunday morning when Dragon Ball Z was aired.
That was before it went to, was that before it went to Toonami on Cartoon Network?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because, yes. Yeah, I mean, it was like, what are you showing here? And then I find out they censor it for American television.
Yes. Just imagine what they took out, if that's what they left.
The water wasn't that high in Japan?
Apparently not. Maybe there was a limit.
Or there were other things going on.
Maybe they were rationing the water.
Like California.
Yes. Thank you, Jerry Brown.
Well, and there's a short little clip that I see on Facebook periodically where she tells him if he will give her his Dragon Ball, then she will show him a little bit of her on the lower half of the body. And
her underwear.
Oh no, inside the underwear.
Oh.
There you go. Now, mind you, he's like 6.
But JJ.
In the scene, he's about 6, and she's probably about 18-ish.
Oh yeah.
That is a scene that was dubbed in English.
Enter Chris Hansen. Hey, why don't you have a seat over here?
Come on, Boba.
But it's one of those things where it was dubbed in English, but it was cut from the actual cartoon show before it was aired because of obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to understand Dragon Ball. What you have to understand is anime in Japan is mostly geared towards adults.
Yeah.
It is mostly geared towards your teenagers and your 20-plus-year-olds. It is not usually geared for your 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
When you get to the States, if it's a cartoon, it's for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Which is stupid.
Yes. I agree.
So there you go.
I agree. I think next week on the after school special, it's Ghost in the Shell. There you go. I said it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Do you want to continue where you left off now, or do you want to compose yourself, me take a break, come back?
No, I'm good. I mean, okay. we can pick. We're already that segment of the movie and TV news was pretty long. So, yeah. Okay. Where did I dive out?
In the middle of talking about the first comic?
The top sellers?
No, I think it was after the top sellers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically Orphan Black from IDW, I believe, was included in the Loot Crate, which is a service that sends out different collections, and they make certain comics as like an exclusive in the Loot Crate. So I think that's what pushed them into the top 10 list there with Orphan Black, because usually IDW doesn't really crack the top 10. But so yeah, Orphan Black was number 1. Darth Vader number 1 was also I think it was number 2, and then Spider Gwen number 1 was number 3. Batman 39 was number 5, and Justice League 39 was number 10. So those are your only 2 DC comics there. The Punisher will star in a new series called The Platoon, set during his first tour of duty in Vietnam. So basically, it's just like Full Metal Jacket, but with a Punisher.
But you said duty.
I said duty. Yep. Shikla is Deadpool's wife, and a succubus queen will be taking a center stage in a new Secret Wars series called Mrs. Deadpool and the Howling Commandos. Now, it's not the Howling Commandos that you know from Captain America. This is Werewolf by Night, The Living Mummy, Frankenstein, and Marcus the Unbeatable Centaur.
Very nice.
I've never heard of Marcus the Unbeatable Centaur. That could be interesting.
Yes. Very much so.
A variant cover for Batgirl has caused quite a controversy and has been pulled from its planned release. The cover is an homage to The Killing Joke and features the Joker in his flowery Hawaiian shirt and hat, gun in hand with his arm draped over the shoulder of Batgirl. A Joker smile is drawn on her face in what looks like blood, and a single tear is coming out of one eye. In The Killing Joke, the Joker shot, then kidnapped Batgirl, and later shows naked pictures of her to her father, Commissioner Gordon, to try and make him crack. When the cover by Raphael Albuquerque was released, he must have took a wrong turn. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I saw what you did there.
Hello. When it was released, there was a backlash saying that the cover trivialized the sexual assault that she went through in the graphic novel, or that was implied that she went through in the graphic novel, because they never actually specifically said that there was any kind of sexual assault. Albuquerque has now asked DC to pull the cover, and they have done so. So it was, I actually saw the image, and it was a little creepy.
Right.
I think the main thing was, the look of terror on her face and the tear, and she looked like her arms were bound. So it was just a little uncomfortable. Yeah, is the best way to put it. So, and he really, I don't think it was any kind of intended thing. He wanted to pay homage to The Killing Joke, and it kind of went the wrong way. I don't think a variant cover on Batgirl should be where you pay homage to Killing Joke, because she did not have the best time in Killing Joke. And that's something else that the fact that they've brought her back as Batgirl now, I think to me, it kind of takes away some of her appeal as a character, because what happened to her in The Killing Joke, she obviously ended up in a wheelchair, but she continued to fight crime how she could. She used the tools that she had, and she became Oracle, and she overcame what happened.
Yes.
And continued to do good and continued to fight the good fight. And it just, that to me was a quality character arc, and she still remained who she was and did what she could to fight crime.
Right. And
in the New 52, they just kind of, wiped that out. Oh, she got better. How do you get better from a bullet through the spine and being in a wheelchair for years?
Stem cells.
She got the magic knee brace that Batman had in Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
And put it on her spine and cinched it up, and she's good to go.
There you go.
There you go. But that always kind of bugged me about bringing her back to Batgirl. I think kind of it was cool to see Barbara Gordon as Batgirl again, but it's kind of ruined a lot of good growth in the character.
Bittersweet.
Yes. One of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles may be making soup soon. The latest issue of the IDW comic, Donatello was killed by Bebop and Rocksteady.
Nope.
Which I still think it's. When I think Bebop and Rocksteady, I see the cartoon.
Yep.
Yes.
And they were buffoons in the cartoon.
Yeah.
the only thing they would do is hurt themselves usually. But in the comics, it's just completely different because actually the comic has been coming back towards its darker roots instead of the goofier, lighter side that most people know. But Donatello had been isolated to face Bebop and Rocksteady alone, while Raphael, Leonardo, and Michelangelo went out to fight Krang. The final page of the issue shows the other three turtles returning to find Donatello on the ground, Splinter cradling his head as the rest weep around his body. Like I said, the comic had been coming back to its kind of darker roots with writers Tom Waltz, and one of the original co-creators, Kevin Eastman, is back writing the comic, so they're bringing it back to its darker roots. So, but it is comic books, so we all know that's most probably not gonna stick. Yeah, but when Chuck and I were talking about this earlier today, he brought up a good point. Donatello is kind of the leader. So that brings up interesting questions. Okay, what do they do? How's this going to affect them? Even if it doesn't last too long, it's going to last at a certain amount of time.
Right.
So what are they going to do without him there to kind of be the linchpin that holds them all together?
Well, before that's stated, you have obviously messed up there because it wasn't those two that killed Donatello. It was an alligator named Goliath.
And he was reportedly delicious.
Yes.
Pizza flavor.
Actually, hold on a second. According to Turtlepedia Wikia, Donatello is the turtle that is commonly accepted to be the smartest of the group, at least in the context of scientific pursuit and when it comes to invention. So he is the guy, he is the inventor of the group.
Oh, he's the gadget guy. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. He's just, I don't read the Turtles, nor do I never really watched the cartoon, so I don't know a lot about them. So I was just going off of, basically kind of like we were spitballing this morning going, hey, isn't he the leader?
Right.
And that could make some interesting stuff there.
I will tell you, if you really want to get a look into the Turtles and the way things have been throughout.
A look under the shell, if you will.
Yes. Yeah, I love being a turtle. I will say you need to watch the last animated series that was done by Fox. There was an ongoing episode. I think that it took more than one episode to do this. Mm-hmm. But all the turtles gather into one place called Turtle Prime. And it was the Shredder. The Shredder had figured out that if you go to Turtle Prime, then you take out the turtles. So all of the turtles are gathered in one episode. And when I say all of the turtles, there's turtles that you haven't seen, but then there's the turtles that you know that we knew and loved in the 80s, and they also do the black and white turtles from the comic books.
So this is like Turtleverse.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was a very, very good episode. It was a very, very good episode because in this, with the last turtles that we saw on television, not the computer animated deal, I'm talking about the completely animated turtles.
Yeah.
You find out that the turtles of the 80s couldn't survive in today's times, and they are much more comedic than the turtles that started the whole thing, the black and white. Yeah. So it was one of those things to where all time comes together and they have to take on this Shredder who is trying to take out the original turtles.
Okay.
So
yeah, and that was the thing when they first were invented or created. It was at the time comics were really dark and gritty like that.
Yes.
And it was almost kind of they were dark and gritty, but it was kind of spoofing that stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it was one of those things that were like, yeah, they're teenaged mutant ninja turtles, something like that. It was kind of a spoof. So, but they were really dark and gritty, and they killed people. So it's I know a lot of the longtime fans are enjoying it, getting back to the dark roots, but probably not enjoying Donatello croaking, but hey, can't make an omelet without cracking some turtle shells.
That's right.
Johnny Storm has found a new superpowered family now that the Fantastic Four has gone away.
Yes.
The Human Torch will be joining the Uncanny Inhumans, because apparently now everything at Marvel has to be tagged with Uncanny at the beginning of it.
Worked for the X-Men.
Yeah, I guess so. He's not an Inhuman, obviously, and apparently his origin will remain intact following Secret Wars. But he does have a long-standing romantic relationship with the member of the royal family, the Inhuman royal family, Crystal. So that's probably where that's coming in.
Okay.
That explains that.
Yes.
Coming out of Secret Wars, we will have an all-new, all-different Avengers. Well, they're saying all-new, all-different. And mostly that looks to be correct. From the cover they've released, it looks like the all-new Captain America, which is Falcon.
Yes.
Is now Captain America. Miss Marvel, who is a teenager, who's now taken the role of Miss Marvel. The new Nova, forgotten his name now, but that's a new character as Nova. The new female Thor. The Ultimate Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So he will obviously make it through Secret Wars. So that was a big question. Who's going to be Spider-Man after Secret Wars?
Right.
And because they're saying the Ultimate Universe is going away, it's all going to be one universe now. So we've got a Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe who's Miles Morales, and then we got Peter Parker in the regular universe who's Spider-Man. I'm glad that he's not going away because I like Miles Morales. I think he's a good character. I think they'll probably end up naming him something else. His name will change to something else. But he will be in the Avengers. There's also Iron Man, but it may be somebody different in the suit. Because like I said, they're saying all new, all different Avengers. But you also see Vision, who is a team veteran that has been on the Avengers for a while. But again, Vision is an android. So he may end at the end of Secret Wars, he may end up rebooted.
Right.
No pun intended. So he may have a different personality. And it may be somebody else in the Iron Man suit. So that would make everybody all new, all different. But to me, everybody's really young. So it's almost like high school Avengers.
Right.
Coming out of it. Except for Falcon. Falcon's a little older. But you've got Miles Morales. The new female Thor, they haven't really laid an age on her. But she looks young. Nova is young. Miss Marvel is in high school. Miles Morales is in high school. So it looks like it's Teen Avengers. So I guess coming on the edge of the debut of Daredevil on Netflix, Daredevil in the comics has a new look. 8 days away. I'm sorry?
Which is 8 days away.
That's true. He has a new look in the comics, and it's pimptacular.
Oh, yeah.
No mask, no horns, just a dark red suit with a black shirt and a red skinny tie and a belt buckle that has the Daredevil emblem on it, the double D Daredevil emblem on it. So he's not wearing, and he has revealed himself to the world. He doesn't have a secret identity anymore. Everybody knows that he's Matt Murdock. So he figures, go ahead and get rid of the suit, although he looks like an idiot. I'm not digging. Of course, he's moved from New York. He's not in New York anymore. He's moved to San Francisco. He's now gotten rid of the iconic suit. He still has a cane at least because he can use that to beat up on people. But it's not Daredevil anymore. It doesn't seem like it. It's kind of like, Law and Order, but with a dude that has radar sight. It's just, I don't know. I'm going to give it a couple more issues and see if it gets any better, but it ain't looking good.
Right.
So, Batman Eternal is a weekly comic that has been running. DC has been doing this a lot with a lot of their titles. They'll have a weekly series that has a set run of 52 weeks. So it runs for a year. Batman Eternal is almost done with its run. Actually, I think either this week. I think it's this week. Should be the last issue. But 2 weeks ago, in Batman Eternal number 50, the entire storyline, the entire year, has been building where all these villains are coming together and they're fighting Batman. And it's been implied that there's one person controlling everybody. So as you're getting closer to the end of the series, you're waiting on this reveal of who is the huge mastermind that is the puppet master that's making all these villains. And these are all the heavy hitters: Penguin, Riddler, Bane. It's not like these are like lower level Batman villains. They're all the big ones. So you're waiting on the reveal of who is controlling all these. And in Batman Eternal number 50, they revealed the villain as the Clue Master. And the entire Batman reading populace went, "Brr? What the hell?" The Clue Master. An idiot D-level villain. From, I think he's probably invented in like the 80s. And has never been anything. So hopefully, yes, yes.
Isn't that the Riddler?
No, he's a Riddler knockoff. The only thing he's really known for is he's Spoiler's dad. You remember Spoiler? The girl in the purple hood?
Yes.
And she was Stephanie Brown. She was actually Batgirl for a little bit, too.
Yes, yes.
That's her dad. That's basically the only thing he's really known for. But that was a swerve, thankfully, because that was my big thing. It's like last page of 50 was the reveal as the Clue. And I actually, when I read it, I said out loud, "The Clue Master? What?" So I was hoping for the swerve, and they gave us the swerve.
It was. The way you wanted it.
I'm sorry?
Just not the way you wanted it.
Well, I was hoping I would take anything other than the Clue Master. This one, though, was kind of out of left field. I didn't expect this at all. The next issue, it got revealed who the real mastermind was when he stepped up behind Clue Master and slit his throat. It was Lincoln March. If you don't know who Lincoln March is...
Crawling in my skin.
No, that's Lincoln Park.
Oh, my bad.
Lincoln March is, as he likes to be referred to, Thomas Wayne Jr. It is Bruce Wayne's brother.
Illegitimate?
No.
Not if he has
legitimate.
The same name.
Yeah. He is legitimate. He was, when Bruce was 3, Martha was pregnant. They got into a car wreck, which they had to deliver the baby early. He had a lot of issues. They put him in a hospital where he could be taken care of. Then when they got murdered, the funding, of course, stopped to the hospital. He was left they for some reason, I forget now exactly why, but for some reason they kept it quiet that he was their son, but they funded everything. Then that funding dried up. He was left basically alone until the Court of Owls got him and raised him.
Yes.
And raised him as basically as an assassin. So his outfit looks like Owlman, which is pretty cool looking, which makes sense with the Court of Owls. So,
are you talking about the Minutemen?
Minutemen.
I mean, the Watchmen.
Watchmen? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that, except jacked up a little bit. But he blames Bruce for his parents' death and him being left to basically to be raised in a sewer by the Court of Owls. So I'm waiting on issue 52 to see how they wind this all up. But they only got 22 pages to wind it all up, so it should be hopefully pretty good. And I had forgotten. I mean, he was introduced in Batman #1 when they the new 52 Batman #1, but I'd forgotten about him, quite frankly. And then so bringing him back was a pretty good little swerve there, right. And at least it ain't the Clue Master. So, and apparently now Clue Master's dead. So there you go. And also from the Bat world, apparently Tim Drake may have a new role in the Bat world. Brace yourself, Chuck. Following the death of Terry McGinnis in the latest issue of Futures End number 46, Tim Drake takes over the role of Batman Beyond.
Oh.
Now, unless this is all completely undone by Convergence, he seems positioned to carry over to the upcoming Batman Beyond series that comes out of Convergence. Sweet. Question is this going to go back to the future, no pun intended, because Batman Beyond is set there. I haven't been reading Future's End, so I don't know whether that's set in the future or it's here or what's going on. Mm-hmm. So my question is, does Tim Drake as Batman Beyond take place in the future, or is that now? I'll personally be upset if he's not in the regular Batman universe now, because Tim Drake as Robin and then Red Robin has been one of my favorite characters. And actually, before the New 52, he was the character in the Batman arc, mm-hmm. besides Batman himself, that had the longest running series.
Yes,
because the Robin series ran a long time,
mm-hmm.
longer than Nightwing ever did.
Right.
So, and he's a great character, and I hope he doesn't. I mean, I hope they leave him there. And now they've introduced so many parts of, I guess you'd call the Batman family. Mm-hmm. There's some girl named Bluebird. There's Batgirl. There's Red Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood. So there's so many, and Alfred's daughter is now helping out in the cave. There's just so many peripheral characters. It's getting a little crowded. They've even got
excuse me, stop.
They've even got a Bat Hound.
It's
his name's
crowded.
Titus. It's what?
Bat crowded.
No, it's
yeah, it is that.
It's Bat Poo crowded.
Yeah.
It's guano.
It's the little bat guano. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see like I said, whether Tim Drake goes to the future or whether he stays here and stays as Batman Beyond.
Well, we know what he has to do. 88 miles an hour.
Yeah. Oh, there's also Batwing. I forgot him too. There's somebody named Batwing. It's just silly. It's the whole Batman Incorporated thing where Batman became like McDonald's. Anybody can own one, and you can run the restaurant.
Well, I hear they got a raise coming. Good stuff. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Is that all for the comic wrap,
Yes.
sir? Okay.
Yes.
Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and do this.
Here's what we learned on this week's Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right. So we need to
Previously
look around
on the
room.
Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hey,
You mean the alone like the imp on Game of Thrones?
No.
Oh.
I didn't say
That'd be
little
awesome.
people.
That's not what we learned.
I bet.
That's not what we learned. Let's go ahead and relieve that there. Okay, we're going to start with the person on the screen here. Tim, what'd you learn this week?
I learned several times that it's only 8 days until Daredevil comes on.
Damn you, Dixon. You stole mine. You stole mine.
Swerve.
Laura? What did you learn?
I learned
Yes.
that somebody needs to get Jeff Goldblum and his Mac and have him go ahead and be ready with whatever virus he's going to infect
Yes.
the aliens with, because we have Independence Day coming. And we're 8 years into the cycle.
8 years.
So we don't know how many years she's got left.
But it started out as a 5-year mission.
Boldly go. I'm getting them mixed up. Sorry.
3-hour tour.
The 3-hour tour. That's right.
Love it. God. All right. Here is what I learned. I learned that, yes, Tim Dixon is absolutely right. We are 8 days away. 8 days away.
Wait a minute, Dixon. You have that on recording. He just said you were right.
I know.
Now, here is
That
also...
will come back to haunt him.
Here is also what we've learned. With the excitement of Daredevil coming to Netflix, his costume in the comics is really, really stupid.
Yep.
There it is. All right. All right. So, here is what I have to do now. I have to apologize to Professor Pixel. Wow, that could have been bad.
Almost was.
That could have been real bad. Mike, I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, Mike, as an artist, folks, you have to go by the Facebook page and see some of the work that he has been putting out there. Exceptional artist. Great artist. Great artist. That's all I can say. Portraits galore of some of the superheroes of that has made comic history, and it's just really good work. But he will be joining us next week for his review. He's got another review lined up. Also,
cool.
Before I get out of here, I'm going to have to go ahead and give the USUCK award to Windows 8. Windows 8. It is like that treasure map that is hard to follow, and there's nothing there when you get there.
I told you.
What?
Windows follows the Star Trek alternating rule.
Yes.
Every other one sucks.
Absolutely.
Well, technically you have 8.1, so it does give you the version of going back to your...
There was not
No,
that
it
much
doesn't,
difference.
because look, down here you have this little deal, the start button. You don't have it there.
Well, I know
it's
that
not
takes
there.
that takes you back to your app thingies, but you can at least make it mostly look like the old version with 8.1.
Yeah, you can make it boot to the desktop.
Yes, yes. So with that, Windows, Bill Gates, you suck.
And you could also polish a turd all day, but it's still doo doo,
and it's still poo. All right. So with that being said, this has been the all new stirring rendition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. Had a great time, but as for us here on the greatest Digicast in the history of Digicastum,
yes,
we here at the Ninja Troll Digicast wish you a great weekend. Happy Easter.
Yes.
And happy Good Friday for those who are observing. As for us here at the Ninja Troll Digicast, we're up, we're out, and we're gone.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast on Spreaker.com. Tune in next time when you'll hear Chuck say,
Now, there is another piece of business that I have to take care of.
Now, wait a minute.
What?
That was your suggestion.
Yes.
Okay, my suggestion is just dump Time Warner Cable.
Nobody else has internet in our area.
That's true. So, see, that's why they suck.
Yes.
Because you've got no choice.
Exactly.
I have found a new word to replace BS. That BS deal. The ball hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey doesn't start with an S.
Monopoly. Because they're the only game here in town.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, every time that I have to use BS, I'm going to say Monopoly.
This is Ninja Troll.
The revolution in
Digicast. Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.
I called SPCA a year ago and asked for help, and they said they didn't have any room for rats.
Oh. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so I think that we do the standard thing. I've got to go and find the mic review.
Yeah, I think he said he was going to redo his.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he mentioned that today.
Okay.
That I think he's going to redo it because it's been a while, so he's like some stuff he wanted to add.
Okay, that's fine.
So
that's fine. We'll just make plans for that next week, and that way we can safely get off here because it's 10:44.
Yeah, we went long.
Well, that's all right. Who cares?
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Even though we had 5 listeners, woohoo!
That's not bad on an off night.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right, man. I'm going to hang up on you.
Cool.
I'm going to bed.
Cool.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, dude.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So Ron is currently happy.
Why?
Because of how many places I've posted this and I'm still working on getting it posted. Basically, we're going to be doing a Tough Enough style web series.
Okay.
People are going to pay $200 to $250 to try out for the webcast. Those who are chosen will be getting free training from a legend. From one of the legends that's on the roster list.
Okay.
So.
Still pissed at me?
No.
What about tomorrow? Did you talk any more about the job?
No. I asked him about it, but that was before all of this crap. So basically, he's not leaving CCW. From what I've gathered, he's not leaving CCW. He just doesn't want it to be a monarchy.
He doesn't want it to be a monarchy. What the fuck's that?
Monarchy, where you have king and he wants it to be a democracy or to be more of a cabinet. Okay, he says, I'll be leaving sometime in the morning. So they said, what time / where should we meet you tomorrow?
Oh yeah, the $10 that I put in the
Tank.
It put it right below a half tank.
Really? Impressive. Well, I figure what we'll do is when we cross the South Carolina line, we'll go a little ways, and then when we see the gas prices really starting to drop, then, because we can make a note of what it is here, and once we see it really starting to drop, then we'll just stop and fill it, top off the tank. And that way we'll know that we've got the best price in the majority of the gas. I love you.
I love you too, baby.
You're so good to me.
Try to be.
No, I'm just trying to make this work, baby. You know, I want to.
Well, they're still throwing guys at me.
I mean, they're still throwing guys at me.
This dude right here, Xavier Torres.
Look at him.
Javier. It's not Xavier, it's Javier. I don't think that's a good look. That looks like somebody we would be cutting.
One would think, but yet they are.
He paid money, didn't he?
Yeah, and they're taking it.
Well, that's when you say, I've still got contracted guys I've got to finish up first. You've got to finish up the contracts first.
So tell me, how does it feel to have to answer the questions of your families? Daddy, why couldn't you beat them? Honey, what happened? Why did you get beat so bad? I thought they were bad guys. You're good guys. You're supposed to win. This is no fairy tale. This is your grim reality, remember? What did you think was gonna happen? You're going up against the best. The best in every which way. The best NSPW has to offer. And the sad part is that we don't want NSPW. We just want to watch you burn. And on the 21st, we made that happen. Now tell me, when you look in the mirror, do you ask yourself, do I keep doing this? Do I keep going? Do you feel that pain? Do you feel that humiliation? Then finally, you know a little bit of what it's like to be me.
I mean, it's he paid for a video. I said, have you seen him? We don't have to keep him. We're planning tryout shows. But aren't we gearing up for tryout fees? It is the tryout fee. The tryout includes a video. Got you. So, again, all of the